Terry McLaurin just got bad news after another top wide receiver in the NFL got a new deal today. Then we'll get into the practice report for Commanders training camp today. It was the first day of pads, so lots to talk about in the second half of today's show. But before we get into the content here on the Commanders Report, subscribe for daily Commanders training camp updates right here on the channel, 100% free. We are the fastest growing Commanders channel anywhere on the YouTube platform. That is for a reason. We're going to give you guys live watch parties for every single Commanders game this year, preseason, regular season, and postseason. It's going to be a lot of fun, as well as daily analysis and coverage for you guys. So click that subscribe button to help us get to 50,000 subscribers. All right, so now let's start here with the new deal for Courtland Sutton. Courtland is spelled incorrectly on our graphic. It's with a U there. But Courtland Sutton signed 4 years, $92 million extension today. That's $23 million per season with the Denver Broncos. He was Bo Nix's number one target with the Denver Broncos last year. And the reason why this could be bad news for Terry McLaurin is because they're both really around the same age, they're about 29 years old. They're both number one wide receivers for their respective football teams, and they both had similar production last year. Now, Terry McLaurin, outclassed Courtland Sutton. Don't get me wrong. All right, he had the 13 touchdowns versus Courtland Sutton, who I believe had 8 last year. But the catches pretty much identical, the yards pretty much identical, the yards per reception pretty much identical. And Terry, because of the touchdowns, did have a slightly higher PFF grade than Courtland Sutton. But if Sutton is only worth $23 million per year, that could lend credence to the Commanders' view that Terry McLaurin is only worth around $25 million per season, which was reported by Adam Schefter to be kind of their preferred price tag for a new contract extension for Terry McLaurin, was in the $24 million per season range. And also, according to Schefter, Terry wants, quote-unquote, considerably more than DK Metcalf and what he got from the Pittsburgh Steelers this year, which was $33 million per season. That's what Schefter said on the Pat McAfee show earlier today. And if you guys take a look at the highest paid wide receivers according to for APY, which is annual earnings, you look at where that would put Terry McLaurin. He wants to be kind of in that top 3 range of highest paid receivers in the National Football League. He might be looking to get that CeeDee Lamb number of $34 million per season. He might be looking for that Justin Jefferson number of $35 million per season coming off that all-pro caliber campaign. Don't think he's going to get close to the Jamar Chase number at $40.25 million per season. But right now, Terry is hunting that massive new contract. And my guess, guys, is that Terry is going to win this battle. You know, the Commanders know that they need him heading into the year, and I think Terry knows he has the leverage here. And I think that he'll probably get slightly more than what DK Metcalf got, somewhere around the range of CeeDee Lamb, maybe a little bit less than Lamb. Maybe it's 33.5, maybe it's 33.1. Who knows what the final number is going to end up being, but I would also guess that guarantees is playing a bit of an impact in negotiations as well. I think the Commanders probably want to have fewer guarantees because Terry McLaurin is getting older, and I think Terry McLaurin knows that this is probably going to be his final massive payday, and he wants a good chunk of his contract to be fully guaranteed. But my biggest worry is not whether or not a deal is going to get done. I'm almost 100% sure that the Commanders will have Terry McLaurin playing for them this year. My concern is when the deal gets done, because if this takes all preseason like it did for Brandon Ayuk and CeeDee Lamb last year, where they did not practice until right before their respective starts of the season, and then those offenses got out to slow starts. San Francisco, slow start, ended up not making the playoffs. Same thing goes for the Dallas Cowboys. So, that I don't want that to happen to the Washington Commanders this year, because if you don't have your number one wide receiver out there, or if that number one alpha wide receiver isn't fully acclimated to the offense at that point, that could leave the Commanders vulnerable to a slow start on offense, which could prove to be catastrophic for the Commanders' chances of winning the NFC East over the Eagles this year. So where are you guys at? Let me know down there in the comments section. What is your concern level surrounding the Terry McLaurin situation right now? Put it on a scale of 1, meaning I'm not worried about it at all, to 10 being it's a 5-alarm fire. I am so panicking about this. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments for today's pinned question. In just a second here, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor today at Fanatics. And while I'm talking about Fanatics, get your answer to that question down there in the comments section. Speaking of Fanatics, you guys can get this Commanders hoodie 50% off from our friends at Fanatics today when you use our link, chatsports.com/WAS hoodie. I love the design of this hoodie, guys, because you got the patches there on the sleeve. You got the logo on the chest. You got that nice burgundy color. So whether you're wearing this to Commanders training camp or whether you're watching it on game days this year, our friends at Fanatics have you covered for a 50% off discount right now when you go to chatsports.com/WAS hoodie. That link is in the comments and description of today's show, so you guys can get that 50% discount. And every single purchase that is made using that link gives us part of the proceeds here at the Commanders Report. So if you want a new Commanders hoodie, you want to help out the channel at the same time, you can go chatsports.com/WAS hoodie and pick up this brand new Commanders hoodie today. So today was the first day of padded practice for the Washington Commanders after an off day over the weekend. And let me tell you guys, it got physical out there. It was hot, which was my first, kind of takeaway, was that everybody on the ground there was talking about how hot it was. Apparently the real feel on the field was over 100 degrees. And obviously in full pads, that's got to be pretty brutal for the players that were out there on the field. But some practice notes here. There was multiple vets that got veteran days off, and those included Laramie Tunsil, Marshawn Lattimore, Zach Ertz, Von Miller, and Cleveland Ferrell. All these guys are veterans that the Commanders pretty much know what they're capable of doing, and especially with the hot temperatures today, they didn't want to take any chances with these guys. I'm sure all these guys were antsy to put on the pads for the first time in practice, but Dan Quinn playing it a little safe here today. And, veteran off days are a normal part of training camp as well, so nothing to worry about there. But then really the star of the show today, guys, was Jayden Daniels, the second-year quarterback. According to the reports on the ground, he was lighting it up at practice today. JP Finley from NBC Sports says Jayden absolutely dialed today. Might be the best he's looked all camp. Threw a nice touchdown pass to Deebo Samuel in the corner of the end zone during the red zone period. He also linked up with Ben Sinnott, who was taking first-team reps today with Zach Ertz, of course, not practicing. Jayden just had a really good practice today. He was super consistent, not throwing the ball in harm's way. He has thrown his share of interceptions to start camp, but he's also had a ton of super impressive throws, and those continue today. So he just keeps raising the bar for himself, guys, and I'm absolutely confident that Jayden Daniels is going to avoid that sophomore slump this year and continue his success that we saw from him in his rookie campaign. Sticking to the passing game here, Luke McCaffrey has really been impressing to start camp, guys. The word on the ground is that he is flying through his routes, and he is looking like somebody that is going to be a legitimate route running threat for the Washington Commanders offense this year, with Terry McLaurin out of the lineup in practice as we speak right now. But LMAC's routes have really been the key thing, and this was something that I thought he had to work on coming out of Rice. He was a third-round pick, so obviously the Commanders really believe in him. He's got some really great athletic tools, and obviously he's got great genes with his brother Christian and, of course, his dad Ed playing in the National Football League at a very high level. So hopefully LMAC here is able to establish himself throughout the rest of camp, and he's really been impressing with the way he's moving out there to start camp. Final note here that we'll discuss today, the run defense was dominant today, which is exactly what we want to hear as a Commanders fan. Now, obviously, that's not exactly fantastic to hear about the offensive line. You don't want to hear about the offensive line not being able to get push. But Lionel Willingham here, somebody that was present on the ground at practice today, said offense has gotten absolutely zero push in run game versus D-line. Good for a group that gave up third most yards before contact. So this team's run defense was not very good last year, plain and simply, guys. There wasn't a whole lot of push from the defensive line, especially when playing really good run games like, for example, the Philadelphia Eagles. Is one of the reasons why the Eagles were absolutely able to stomp on the Commanders in the NFC Championship game this past year. So seeing this defensive line with Javon Kinlaw, with Eddie Goldman, with Daron Payne, with all these guys that they have on there, Dorrance Armstrong, that are good run defenders, it's nice to see that the Commanders' investment in that group and in the run defense particularly is starting to pay off already on the first day of pads. So who's your guy? Let me know down there in the comment section. Who has been your biggest winner of camp so far? Is it Luke McCaffrey? Is it Deebo Samuel? Is it somebody else? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. Who's been the biggest winner at camp so far? That'll be it for today's edition of the Commanders Report by Chat Sports. Thank you guys for stopping by today. If you want more Commanders training camp coverage all throughout the week, make sure you guys click that subscribe subscribe button if you haven't already to join the fastest growing Commanders channel anywhere on YouTube.